Goblins, or as we've just been calling them, islands. This is a new piece of small group content in Battle for Azeroth. We weren't going to send you across the sea to find
Jeremy Weasel. I'm fucking sure this guy's name is fucking Jeremy Weasel. He looks like a fucking weasel.
Of uncharted lands.
Fucking hell, you're judgmental today.
Island expeditions.
What do you mean?
Fucking Hotter looks like a bloated piece of shit.
We should start by
I didn't say piece of shit. I didn't fucking say piece of shit. I just said he looks like he's like fucking bloated and he looks like fucking slug. I didn't fucking say I just said
cracks are occurring all across.
I didn't fucking say he's a piece of shit.
Fucking Jeremy Weasel. More like Weasel.
And it looks like this sort of gold blue.
Pizza Hut, more like a pizza butt.
As it emerges, it crystallizes into these thrumming spires filled with power that reach towards the sky.
So what you're telling me is everyone is mining.
There's incredible power inherent with the blood of Azeroth, which we're calling Azerite. But for the Alliance and the Horde, this is a little bit like being the first group to discover plutonium. While incredibly powerful, we're not entirely sure what all it can do. And some of those mysteries you'll be exploring in Battle for Azeroth. But what both sides do know is that it has the power to be incredibly destructive.
Uranium.
Whichever faction has the most of this stuff in their coffers when war fronts break out is definitely going to have the upper hand. Now, the gnomes and the goblins aren't just going to let this awesome new source of power show up without immediately developing some technology that will allow us to pinpoint where these hemorrhages are locating or showing up all across Azeroth. So they're going to give you some maps showing uncharted islands off in the Great Sea that are filled with Azerite.
Maps, Pogsham.
As luck would have it, we've just made friends with the two groups that have the most powerful navies in the world, the Koltirans and the Zandalari. So you're going to log in and head down to the docks of your brand new hub city of Boralis for the Alliance.
What's fucking you, dude?
For the
fucking Asmund.
And there you'll be conscripted by the Alliance to head off on an adventure. You're going to take one of their fastest ships and try to gather as much of that Azerite as you can. Of course,
I'm just gonna have to record a dick suck later.
Find that it's necessarily undefended. The giant crab that we see here is not a friendly crab. The denizens of the island will fight hard for the Azerite that they've already collected. Because really every creature is drawn to this magical substance, even though they don't quite know why.
It's gonna just make it easier to kill.
So that was a little bit of the story behind your island expedition.
What was this Azerite
again? Some of the details.
Like, what was it good?
Island expeditions are 3-player scenarios, and they're role agnostic. This is something that we want to really play with this time around. If you want to bring in 3 tanks or 3 healers, we definitely want to support that. And we've learned a lot about individual class-based gameplay, and rare spawn gameplay, and World Quest gameplay throughout the last couple of expansions. All of that knowledge we're applying here to give you an awesome experience, no matter what group you come in with. They're intended to take about 15 to 20 minutes, and being role agnostic, you'll also have a relatively rapid queue. That means that just about any time of the day, you can hop in, queue up, and knock one of these out and grab some Azerite. And last but not least, the major goal here, of course, is to obtain Azerite. To fill, and last but not least, fill up the hull of your ship and leave victorious.
So this is basically fucking daily cap or something. So this is basically
but also some for yourself. Gaining Azerite comes in a wide variety of
whatever.
Gaining Azerite comes in a wide variety of
whatever.
Well, it's lagging for you.
Gaining Azerite comes in a wide variety of
whatever.
Well, it's lagging for you.
Drawn to it a little bit, and they don't want to let it go. It has this inherent power. You will fight creatures infused with Azerite. You'll save quest givers who have been collecting Azerite.
Bosses.
And of course, you'll be fighting powerful bosses and taking their huge hordes of Azerite. And also much, much more, which we're going to get into in a little bit. Really, one of the prevailing design philosophies behind island expeditions is something that we're calling dynamic replayability. And I could describe that in a whole bunch of words, but it's going to be way more fun if I show you with pictures. All right, so imagine you and your friends queue up for an island expedition. and you
What?
arrive on this sort of idyllic tropical landscape. It's nice, you know, looks kind of like what you would expect an island to look like. It's the middle of the day, it's a pretty day. And today, you find the island is inhabited by a couple of Hosen sitting next to a chest filled with azurite. To the left of them, you see a giant azurite-encrusted starfish. Of course, you can pick up the starfish and fling it at any enemy to disorient them and let you do extra damage to them for a little while. There's a couple of ambient crabs wandering around on the shoreline, and in the back right there, you see a creepy-looking Hosen shrine. If you click on that shrine, it will give you a powerful buff, but every shrine buff also comes with a detriment, and you can't remove it until its duration expires. So you have to be sure that you want to really opt in to that gameplay, that extra difficulty. In this particular case, this shrine makes you do extra damage, but reduces your armor. In the back left, you see a very large crab that we saw earlier, who is guarding a huge spire of azurite. And as you can imagine, he's going to be one of the more powerful foes in the sort of scene that we created here. So
I
what
shut
did we
down
just
your
craft?
stream, dude. Doesn't
Really,
matter.
what we've created
Too
is
late.
a puzzle.
To what?
There is an